Aloha and welcome back. So as we do on this show, we're going to cover Kyle Kalinske, the real Dim Shady. Bernie fires back at critics of the anti-oligarchy tour. So I haven't watched this video yet. I'm not sure if it's critics from the left, like me, or if it's critics from the right, or critics from the Democratic Party from the liberal right. So we will find out together, and then I'll react as we go.
Yesterday, we discussed Bernie Sanders firing back at one of his critics, Alyssa Slotkin. And Slotkin made the argument, you got to stop talking about oligarchy. Americans don't even know what that means. And Bernie...
Well, why don't they know what that means? That has something to do with our educational system, right?
When that was brought up to him, he literally laughed at it. And because first of all, they know exactly what it means. Second of all, and there's polling on that. Second of all, it's also undeniable at this point when you have the world's richest man, Elon Musk, spends $270 million to get Donald Trump in the White House, and then he starts usurping Congress and the president by slashing social safety net programs and hacking into the Treasury and looting it. So there is no denying it. So the reason Alyssa Slotkin said that, let's be honest, is because she is pro-oligarchy. She is. Just like Hakeem Jeffries went to Silicon Valley after the...
Just like every Democrat. Every Democrat, anybody who brings somebody to the Democratic Party, they are all pro-oligarchy. If you are pro the duopoly, you are pro-oligarchy. That is what the duopoly is. That is why we have an oligarchy, and that is why it is so strong. That is why every other country in the world, pretty much, has parliamentary, however you say it, or some kind of more than two-party system. Nobody, except for us. There might be one or two other countries that have a two-party system, but everybody else has multi-parties.
The election, and went hand in hand and begged, hey guys, please keep funding the Democratic Party and we'll represent you even better than the Republicans. That's what he had to do. Instead of going to like young people and pro-Palestine people and apologizing and saying we'll adjust because we were wrong, what does he do? He goes to the moneyed interest, to the tech broligarchs, and begs for money. Alyssa Slotkin, when she runs for higher office, she wants that sweet, sweet oligarch cash.
Right.
So that's why.
And so she's a Democrat. He's going to tell you to vote for the oligarchy.
She's taking that position. And also, she's mentally stuck in 1996. She doesn't realize what's happening. She doesn't understand the current era.
Oh, my gosh.
So Bernie literally laughed at that.
Coming from this guy who's going to tell you, oh, we want some left-wing stuff. We want a universal health care and a higher minimum wage. But go ahead and vote for the oligarchy and support the oligarchy. That makes absolutely no sense.
The other day.
The good billionaires.
But now he's back, and he's got some even more harsh words where he's going to explain to his critics exactly what they're doing. And this is shots fired. Let's get it.
Not surprisingly, the establishment has taken note of what we are doing. Republicans, including Trump and Musk, tried to downplay the size of our rallies. According to Musk, those who attended were mostly paid organizers. Really? Not quite true. While members of the Democratic establishment have occasionally applauded our efforts on the road, a number of them and their corporate media friends are becoming increasingly nervous about the progress we're making. And you may have heard some of this recently in newspapers or radio or TV or in social media. These establishment figures are exclaiming that progressives shouldn't be taken too seriously, that we as progressives are too far left. We are extreme. We are out of touch with American society. None of these establishment critiques are new. I've heard them for a long, long time, but they are worth discussing. So let me take a minute to do that. According to these establishment politicians, analysts, media pundits, and wealthy campaign contributors, the future of the Democratic Party lies in moderation.
Stop and think about this. The Republicans have gone full fascist. And that's undeniable at this point. The evidence is as high as Mount Everest. If you look at that and you're
The United States started full fascist. Oh my gosh. Like, that is what this country has always been. The Democrats, Joe Biden, his crime bill, Kamala Harris, the stroke of her pen, Bill Clinton, still with the crime bill, like, all Obama fighting us for not being able to afford health care, all this stuff is the same. They all do the same stuff. And, oh, now the Republicans are worse. These guys, man.
Action is to
Liberals.
call for moderation. What are you saying? Here's the Democrats, here's the Republicans. They're over here in fascist territory. If you're calling for moderation, what you're saying is, let's go here. Let's go here. And be half fascist. If you're
Right, and vote for that party no matter what. Go for the half-fascist party. Good job.
solution in the face of full fascism is to be half fascist or semi
That's the way the two-party system works and how it has always worked.
fascist. You've lost the fucking plot.
That is
And
the
that
plot.
effectively is their
That you act like this is new, Kyle. You've lost the fucking plot. You have done this for so long, and you used to be so different. You have lost the fucking plot, Kyle. Good lord.
If your solution in the face of full fascism is to be half fascist or semi fascist, you've lost the fucking plot. And that effectively is their position.
We shouldn't be rocking the boat. We shouldn't be bringing forth bold ideas to address the crises facing working families. We shouldn't be talking about oligarchy, about one guy owning more wealth than the bottom 53% of American households. Can't talk about that. We shouldn't be talking about massive income and wealth inequality and the reality that the top 1% now owns more wealth than the bottom 90%.
This is nothing new.
We shouldn't be talking about the unprecedented concentration of corporate ownership that exists, and that a handful of large Wall Street firms are the major stockholders in virtually every large corporation in America. We shouldn't be talking about the need to grow the trade union movement so that workers can negotiate for decent wages and benefits. And let us never talk about a corrupt campaign finance system that allows billionaires in both parties to control the political and legislative process. Oh, and of course we shouldn't.
Imagine if Bernie took all this effort, all this energy to the Green Party DSA, especially for the last 20, 30, or 40 years while he was in Congress. I mean, we would have an entirely different world. Not just America, an entirely different world. But if we do it now, in 4, 10, 20, 30 years, I don't know how long it'll take. It'll take some time maybe, but we can have an entirely different world. If we keep with the duopoly, we keep with the oligarchy, then none of what he's saying matters at all.
We'll be talking about corporate control over the media. According to these leaders of the Democratic establishment, the path forward, get ready for this, is to continue doing exactly what they have been doing for the last 10 years.
It's
Last, 100 years? Not 10.
actually worse than that. He's actually giving them too much credit. That is not their position. Their position is to become even worse.
And he's going to sit here and tell you to vote blue no matter who. How can you say that their position is going to become even worse, but you're going to keep telling people to vote for them? That's insane.
Because again, Trump is going full fascist.
Well, it's
the
not
Republicans are
insane.
going
It's Democratic sheep herding, and it's his job. He's a sheep herder for the Democrats, right-wing liberal.
full fascist, and they're saying, let's moderate, let's meet them halfway, let's compromise, let's negotiate, let's find areas where we can agree.
And you're saying this is the best party for people, rather than saying there's a people party out there that all we got to do is fill up. When you have over a million subscribers, your girl has, I don't know if she has a million, but she has close. You know, TYT, you can get on all of these channels and you can make a movement. You could get Bernie's movement, yet you're going to sit here and tell people to stay with the Democratic Party that you're going to talk all this shit about.
So what they're doing is effectively bending the knee to fascism.
Exactly. That's exactly what you are doing, Kyle.
If they were just taking the position, let's do what we've been doing, it wouldn't even be this bad. That's why you have people like Alyssa Slotkin, former CIA
Let's
agent.
do what they've been doing. They've been doing capitulation to fascism this whole time. That's what they do. Again, the crime bill, I don't want to keep going over the same things, but since Bill Clinton, and even way before, but you know, you got the FDR period, but most of that still had Jim Crow. So from the 70s to Bill Clinton was a decent time. It was Bill Clinton in the 90s, so we had a decent 20 years, maybe, not even. Like,
Agent, former CIA agent, she voted for 8 of Trump's cabinet picks. 8. She voted for the Laken Riley Act, which destroyed due process for immigrants. So no, they've actually gotten worse, Bernie. They've gotten worse. But that's also why you
need to vote blue no matter who.
and AOC and Jasmine Crockett and Maxwell Frost and Tim
Crockett.
Walz. That's why you guys, J.B. Pritzker, now you're surging in popularity and people like Gavin Newsom are falling off because you not only have an ideology that you're fighting for, but you're also not compromising with fascism.
Holy shit. Yes, you are. The Democratic Party is a fascist party. Anyone going to the Democratic Party is compromising with fascism. That is exactly what it is. The two-party system is the Jones plantation. You got Mr. Jones or his brother, Mr. Johnson, whatever his name was. You vote Mr. Johnson, that's no better than voting for Mr. Jones. It doesn't matter if you vote for Joe Biden when he's just going to crash down on black people, but then pardon his son for the same stuff that he separated black fathers from their kids for. You are insane. You do not care about at least some of Americans, Kyle Kalinske. I'm calling you out. You do not care at least about, I'd say about 13% of Americans. If you can say this, that the Democrats are doing something new, being fascist or slightly fascist, they've always been.
You're also fighting Trump. Like those are the real dividing lines. Everybody who stands up and fights will be popular despite ideology. And, you know, I would almost prefer it be the case that it's both. You have to fight Trump on everything and have the right ideology. But I guarantee you this has more to do with we fight. We are on the front line.
We fight Trump by just talking for 25 hours and getting nothing done. You fight Kyle Kalinske for the last 10, 12, 15 years by talking a lot of shit on YouTube and doing what? Building what? Have you started the Justice Democrats, which just was a sheep herd party thing. All you've done is keep people in sheep herd party into liberalism and actually hurt the left. You have been a net negative to left wing, to progressives, to people thought, society thought. You are a gateway to fascism, to the Democratic Party. You are not what I once thought you were, a progressive left-wing educator.
Lines fighting. That's part of the reason why Bernie and AOC are surging in popularity and why at least half the people showing up to their rallies were not previous fans and supporters of them.
In other words, tell the world how bad Donald Trump is while continuing to defend a rigged and corrupt economic and political system that makes the rich richer while working families fall further and further behind.
Again, he's giving them too much credit. They're not just, oh, we're just going to be anti-Trump and talk about that all the time. They're not doing that. They're trying to find areas of agreement. Look, again, Gavin Newsom's a great example of this. After Trump...
The WWE show of the Democrats and Republicans is always finding agreement. They act like they argue about things. Barack Obama passed Mitt Romney's healthcare system. Mitt Romney wrote that healthcare system, and he would have tried to pass it if he beat Barack Obama. He didn't, so Barack Obama passed it for the Republicans, for the right, for whoever. And Kyle Kalinske knows this. That's why he's dim shady, right? You have to be shady to know this much, and even Bernie's shady these days. To know as much as they know, and to push Democratic nonsense, to push Democratic fascism over Republican fascism, like it's different, like they don't work together, like they don't know about the Jones plantation, which they might not, but it's just, they know too much to be doing this. They are both shady as hell now.
Gets back in the White House, he starts a podcast. His first three guests, Sloppy Steve Bannon, Charlie Kirk, and Michael Savage, right-wing radio host, and he gives them a fucking hot stone massage and he lets them walk all over him. Gretchen Whitmer goes to Trump's 100-day rally. The fuck are you doing there? Meets with him at the White House the same day he destroys the economy with tariffs. What are you doing? What they're doing, Bernie, is literally getting worse. That's what they're doing. If they were just anti-Trump with no ideology, they would be in a better place right now.
Getting worse than Kamala Harris talking about, I can put you in jail with the stroke of my pen. I can mess up your life. I can mess up your job, get you fired. And then on a whim, I can do a stroke of my pen and get you out of jail. Talking about little girls talking about, oh, she put my mama in jail when I was sick in the hospital. Are you serious? They're getting worse than that? Laughing about she used to smoke weed, listening to Tupac, but she put people in jail for weed. This is the people that he says are better than the Republicans. Oh my God. Like, I don't understand. Like, if you guys really look at the Democrats and what they've done to us, they're just as bad as any Republican.
But the problem was,
You.
let's find areas of agreement with Trump, and they have no ideology. It's a double whammy of shittiness.
They do have an ideology. It's your ideology. It's right-wing, corporate funded. Like, are you serious? Do what they say. The fascists, the Democrats. Jeez,
Well,
you're just losing
we
it.
disagree with that approach. Of course, we will continue.
Shittiness.
Well, we disagree with that approach. Of course, we will continue to work with Democrats and anybody else to help lead the way in exposing Trump's
Anybody else? Didn't he say that he wouldn't do third parties?
pathological lying, his kleptocratic behavior, which enriches himself and his family, his disastrous economic policies, which benefit the rich at the expense of everyone else, his authoritarianism and his contempt for the Constitution, his foreign policy, which is alienating us from long.
What do you mean his contempt for the Constitution? He wants to MAGA. He wants to get back to the original Constitution, to the original way America was. Make America great again. When do you think America was great?
Time friends and allies.
Stop using ChatGPT like everyone else.
We will continue to do that and more. But that is not enough.
Oh
From
my
one-
gosh, no, it's not enough. You need to build a third party. You're going to just keep feeding the duopoly. You're just feeding the oligarchy.
End of our country to the other. In red states, blue states, purple states, working families, young people, seniors, the poor, people of color, people in cities and people in rural America, and Americans of all stripes are dead.
Remember, people of color, if you ain't black, or if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't black. So like, this is crazy, man, that they're acting like the Democrats are actually something different and better.
And Americans of all stripes are desperately looking for a new and bold vision for America's future.
A new and bold vision, and you're not going to back a third party. You're not going to try to build a third party. You're just going to do the same thing, keep going back to the Democratic Party, doing the same thing over and over and over and over, trying to think something else is going to happen out of it. This, like Bernie, man, I used to love some Bernie Sanders, but I don't know, man. I'm starting to think that he knows what he's doing, and he's doing it on purpose. He's just sheep herding people into the oligarchy.
The status quo is not working
Yeah, let's keep doing the status quo.
and cannot and should not be defended.
But he's defending it.
Let me repeat that. The status quo is not working
But vote blue no matter who.
and cannot and should not be defended.
Yet he's defending it. This is so sad to see Bernie going out like this.
Simply stated, in the richest country in the history of the world, where our productive capabilities are exploding with new technologies, every man, woman, and child in our country can and should have a decent standard of living.
But we send our jobs overseas and don't pay people to do other things, to take care of each other, or to have a service economy. This is
not radical utopian thinking.
to Democrats it is, though, Bernie. You gotta go somewhere else, Bernie. He's just doing the wrong
This
thing.
is not far left.
Yes, it is, Bernie. It is far left. That's why it's not Democratic shit. This is far left stuff that you're talking about. The United States is a far right wing country. The Democrats are a center right country. They do not care about people. They care about corporations. This is the whole problem. This is a far left concept you are talking about, and you need to own it, and you need to say it, and you need to let people know what left means. Everybody thinks the Democrats are left when Democrats are not left. They don't care about us. The left does care about people.
This is what we can and should be achieving.
If you spoke correctly and told people that this was left-wing ideas.
This is what we should be fighting for.
Yes, left-wing ideas, not democratic ideas. Democratic ideas, or the Democratic Party that is ideas, are center-right ideas that are corporate first ideas, and they are not for us.
What is radical and unthinkable is that in the year 2025, in the United States of America, 60% of our people live paycheck to paycheck.
How do you think America started? What percentage of people lived with no paycheck at all? And then what percentage of people lived pretty poor. Like, are you serious? This is the United States that was started and was built from the very beginning. And the left is trying to change that and make it a people first country. It has never been a people first country. It has been a man first, rich person first, white person first country, corporation first country. It has been never for the people. We're trying to change that, and that people are acting like it used to be good. That's MAGA type shit, and you guys are wrong.
And we have some of the highest rates of childhood and senior poverty of any major country on earth.
What do you think the childhood and senior poverty was for black people when this country started? No one cares about that. What do you think the childhood and senior poverty was for black people during Jim Crow? No one cares about that. You act like this is different. This is the way the country was, but now that it's treating other people than black people the way it treats black people, oh, now there's a problem. Well, hey, maybe you guys should have cared about other people before.
What is radical is that we have more income and wealth inequality than we've ever had before. And unbelievably, one man owns more.
I don't know. I think the master to the slave, the income inequality then was quite great. In fact, you can't even measure it. How can you say that we have more income inequality now than George Washington had than the more inequality than George Washington had than his slaves? Like, yes, Trump could probably go up to you and shoot you in the face, but could he buck break you? Could he whip you? Could he do the things that George Washington could do to his slaves? Could he do the things that Thomas Jefferson could do to his slaves? All these people that had slaves and were the master of their plantation, is that not a bigger wealth disparity than the one disparity that we have now? Are you serious? Like, these people, like, liberals need to stop. Like, you guys are just, you're fighting the wrong fight. You're talking the wrong stuff. Like, it doesn't even make any sense if you know anything about history.
More wealth than the bottom 53% of households. What is radical is that we are the only major country not to guarantee health care for all as a human right.
And so what's pretty radical is that the Democrats had, Barack Obama had a supermajority. He could have passed universal health care easily. He didn't want to. He didn't care to. The Democrats don't want to. Don't care to. They didn't force the vote when Nancy Pelosi was becoming Speaker of the House. When Joe Biden got voted in. There's many times that the Democrats could have given us and showed us that they were really going to do something for universal health care, but they didn't. They could have codified it with Barack Obama into the Constitution, but they didn't want to. They don't want to, and he's going to tell you to be a Democrat. Like, it's like almost not okay, Bernie. Like, I'm so upset with Bernie Sanders now.
Or have paid family and medical leave. What is radical is that 800,000 of our fellow Americans are homeless, and that over 20 million households spend over half of their limited incomes for housing. What is radical is that we are spending close to $1 trillion a year on the military.
That's what we do. We've been at war over 93% of our existence. Look up how long has the United States been at war during its existence, or what percentage of the United States, what percentage of the time has the United States been at war since its existence? And it'll tell you like 222 years out of 227 or something like that. It's crazy. It's what we do.
And many billions in weaponry for an extremist Netanyahu government in Israel that has waged a horrific, illegal, and immoral war against the people of Gaza.
And who did that? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the exact people he's going to tell you to vote for and tell you that they're better than the Republicans. It makes absolutely no sense.
What is radical is that our democracy is being undermined.
Again, the Jones plantation. When have we ever had a democracy? We never have. We don't get no choices. Did we get a choice between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton? No, they told us these two people that we get to choose out of, and that's it, right? Like, most of us wanted a Bernie Sanders, but they didn't let us get that when we voted him in the Democratic primary. They said, oh, we're a company. We can do what we want. We don't have to listen to the people. That's not a democracy.
Not just by Donald Trump.
Not a real democracy.
But by billionaire campaign contributors and a corrupt.
And then the Democrats have the good billionaires. So, I mean, this is nuts.
Corrupt campaign finance system. The American people desperately want this country to move forward in a new direction.
Bernie, if you know this, why are you backing Democrats? It doesn't make any sense.
Economically, politically, socially,
You just said politically, and you want back a third party. You've been an independent for so long. You're back an independent that won't build any political strength.
and environmentally. Just as a matter
Environmentally, talking about the Green Party, you're not. The Democrats don't care about the environment at all.
and environmentally. Just as a matter of fact, a recent survey found that 3/4 of Americans believe the American political and economic system need major changes. So to our
If they need major changes, how are you going to back the Democratic Party? He's talking, oh, we'll back independence, we'll do this, we'll do that. It's not time to build a third party. What kind of major change? We need a major change when slavery needed to be ended, right? The Republicans stepped up and became a third party, and they ended slavery. Now we need to destroy the oligarchy. Now we need to break the oligarchy that started this country, that has been holding this country back since its beginning. And we need extreme change. And that's going to be a third party because we need to keep the power and build the power. Having independents run and just gaining a little power here and there and then letting it dissolve or disperse and go nowhere, it's not going to help the people.
establishment friends in the Democratic Party.
Oh, there you
No,
go.
we will not maintain the status quo.
Jesus Christ, Bernie Sanders. Are you going to talk about going to the Green Party? Are you going to really talk about disrupting the status quo? Like I said, I haven't watched this yet. So maybe, surprise me, Bernie. What do we got? Do we got a third party here? Is DEMINEM over here? The Kyle Kalinske, is he going to be told by his master that we're actually going to do this third party run? Or are we just going to be still sheep herding people into the status quo? Democrats, duopoly, oligarchy party.
We will not shrink from big ideas.
Ooh,
We are prepared to take on the big money interests
in the Democratic Party?
who dominate our society. And we know that the American people are with us in that fight. And we should be enormously proud that we are helping to shape that path.
Holy moly. Bernie Sanders from 2016, even before, you could have shaped that path and you could have built a Bernie Sanders party. You could have built an American Workers Party. You could have just joined the Green Party like your brother asked you to and helped build the Green Party, which is a worldwide workers party, which would build world. If the United States Green Party had strength and had governors and senators and the House of Representatives and even a president here and there, if the United States Green Party had strength, the entire working world would have so much more strength because the Green Party is a world party and they are for the people. It just, the United States, we're the United States. We give people power. But I mean, hey, soon enough, Donald Trump is breaking us, breaking up our power. So, in the next 4 to 10 years, we might not have the power we once had. But when Bernie, his whole career, if he'd have built a Green Party, DSA, a Bernie Party, a workers, whatever, we would just have so much more now. It's helping to shape a new path.
But let us be clear. The road forward will not be easy. We are taking on the oligarchs and their unlimited wealth. We're taking on corporate America and the media that they own.
And their two parties. Oh my gosh, why stop there? Why not take on their two parties and the duopoly?
We're taking on Donald Trump and the Republican Party.
Just the Republican Party. But see, you can't beat the oligarchy without taking on the duopoly. And you know this, Bernie.
And we're taking on the fossilized section of the Democratic Party.
Just the section of the Democratic Party that you can't beat, that is just going to change you and make AOC go from, protesting Nancy Pelosi to calling her Mama Bear.
Which cannot shake loose from their top-down politics, their wealthy campaign donors, and
they cannot shake loose. They cannot do it. They cannot shake loose. And he's going to say, but we're going to stay there. We're going to stick with them. But they can't do what we need them to do.
their super PACs. In this pivotal moment in American and world history, when the stakes are so high for our country and the entire planet, we should not underestimate the difficult challenges that we face. But that,
like building a third party, and that should not make us pessimistic. That
should not make us pessimistic. If we stand together, we have the power to create a government and an economy that works for all of us.
How about we get in a party that has all of our ideas, that it's ready to work for all of us. It does work for all of us. It just needs us in it to have the power for it to work. You keep sheep herding people into a corporate party. You're just giving the power to the corporations.
Not just a handful of billionaires.
But it's okay for the good billionaires. Oh my God! And as Nelson Mandela said, while I was in jail, there was 2 parties who wanted to keep me in jail. Just keep trying to change those parties. Don't be radical. Are you Bernie Sanders? What are you going to say about Nelson Mandela and sheep herding people into the Democratic Party? This is insane.
One of the great liberation leaders in modern history reminded us, quote, "It always seems impossible until it is done."
I mean, think about that. Relate that to the third party.
Unquote.
Trying to save money on business.
I know I'm stopping this a lot, but I can't take it.
Let's do it.
So Bernie decided he launched this initiative to get people to try to run for office. He's got, a form that people fill out.
And if he would have contacted the Green Party or DSA and done this, it would make so much sense and so much difference. But he's just going to take all these people and do nothing with it, like he did in 2016 and 2020. So
out
sad.
and inquire about it, and they try to help him get started with running a campaign at all different levels of government. And it's awesome because some people in like Democratic districts, these people are going to run as Democrats.
And do nothing.
But then the other idea he has, which I think is brilliant and it makes perfect sense, is that in Republican districts and Republican states where the Democratic brand is so immensely tarnished that they have no chance, you run as an independent, and then you try to win. If you get in there, you caucus with the Democrats and represent, Bernie's ideology and philosophy of...
See, the Democrats are shady, and Bernie's starting to do shady tactics with the Democrats. Like they got that MoveOn.org and that other independent one, and there's so many out there that the Democrats are acting progressive and have these progressive groups that they're lying to you, and they're sheep herding these people that think that they're working with the Green Party or DSA or real independents and stuff, but they're not. They're getting their emails so the Democratic Party can have them, and that they can tell them, oh, when it comes time, it's too scary. We got to vote for Democrats now. This is not going to help us in the long run at all.
Social democracy. So I love that. I think that's great. And look, the main point here is, and I'm not even convinced Bernie even fully understands why this moment has been such a colossal moment for him, for AOC, for all the people who are standing up and leading. And by the way, Bernie waited to see if anybody else would take the mantle and lead. He wanted somebody else to lead. I mean, the guy's old. He should be laying on a beach somewhere sipping a mojito. And he waited like 2 or 3 weeks, and then he realized, oh my God, nobody's fucking leading. Nobody's launched an anti-Trump tour. Nobody's, going to give speeches or doing town halls. And at the point, nobody had. Now,
I guess that would have been a good point for the Green Party, a good point for the Green Party to start. I just started getting in the Green Party at about that point. But if he would have, like the Green Party has gone to Bernie Sanders and asked Bernie Sanders to join the Green Party and even lead the Green Party, and he said no. And Bernie Sanders' brother's in the Green Party in like the UK or somewhere in Europe. I think it's the UK. And Bernie Sanders' brother even came to, I think, America to talk to Bernie Sanders, and Bernie Sanders told him no too. Like I don't think Bernie Sanders is what we all thought he was, right? Like, let's see, I'm gonna see this little Bernie campaign thing that they got going on and see if he'll help some Green Party people. But we'll find out if he's really for the people or not with trying to do that. And I'll talk to my Green Party people and have them reach out and see if he'll help their new campaigns and all that too.
Doing it. Some people are actually doing it. A bunch of the Democrats are going to El Salvador to try to get these innocent people out of there, which is great. But the thing I don't think he quite understands is that the Democratic establishment, they no longer have the argument of actually we're the most anti-Trump and we're leading on the anti-Trump.
Who cares who's the most anti-Trump? Orange man bad stuff is stupid. Are you serious? Oh, we're going to push universal health care. We're going to raise your minimum wage. We're going to bring food. We're going to stop the wars. We're going to do something about the border that's humane. Are you serious? Oh, the anti-Trump. I just don't like Trump. I hate his hair. It looks ugly.
Train. They can't make that argument anymore because they're not. The Democratic establishment were the ones who started moving further to the right.
Hillary Clinton is the reason we have Trump. She did the Pied Piper strategy. She helped that dude out. The Democrats would rather have a Donald Trump than a Bernie Sanders. If Bernie Sanders wants to move everybody to the right and bring all his left-wing people that were following him into the Democratic Party, into the right-wing party, okay, then we get Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump, which we saw he died. That's Hillary. Like, I mean, that's way better than Donald Trump, or we're there to take the oil. What's the difference? It's the same thing.
And voting for a bunch of Trump's picks and supporting some right-wing ideas like the Laken Riley Act, for example. So they no longer, back in the 2016 era, it was the centrist Democrats tried to make the argument, actually, we're the most anti-Trump. And the lefties are actually Trump curious. And that's, fuck them for that, right? That was now.
The left is always curious, and fuck you, centrist liberal, for not being curious. And you guys did Russiagate, you guys did lies, and then you centrist ass liberals, CNN, MSNBC, you're a huge reason that Trump was on, because you guys were talking about Trump instead of talking about Bernie Sanders during the whole 2016 primary and all this. And Trump got however many dollars of free publicity, where Bernie Sanders, he'd be having a speech and they wouldn't even cover it until the end of the speech. They wouldn't show the speech. You centrist liberals are why we have Trump.
Now, I don't think that was true, right, about the left versus the center, but that's the argument they made, and that argument landed with the public. This time around, what's happening with the Democratic base is they're looking around and going,
well, he's wrong. The left is always curious. I don't care about Trump. He's no different than Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton, than George Bush, than even Barack Obama. Like, Barack Obama took the wars from 2 to 7 or something like that. How is that better than Trump? Like, if you have a worldview, if you care about people outside of yourself and your 2 family members or however many family members you have, Trump is no different than anybody else. Oh, because your money goes up or because you feel this certain way for a couple people, that doesn't mean anything. The entire world, to 90% of the population, Trump, Obama, Clinton, they're not different. None of them.
who's actually anti-Trump and who's going to lead this resistance? Because I was told
How
for fucking
stupid is
years that this guy's a fascist. Then he starts doing fascism, and then the...
Wait a second. Everybody who runs for president in the Democratic or Republican Party is a fascist, and they start doing fascist shit. But you only now notice because Trump did it, and that his name is Donald Trump. What?
The people I looked up to start to meet him halfway. Fuck that. And so what Bernie, I don't think, realizes.
Fuck you. What do you mean meet him halfway? Again, Obama took the wars from like 2 to 7. The Democrats passed the crime bill. Joe Biden said he did not care why people were messed up. It doesn't matter if the government didn't help him out or whatever, that he only cares about his family, and so we need to put these people in jail to protect his family. You are so disingenuous, and Kyle Kalinske knows this stuff, right? That's why you are the real Dem Shady. You have to be shady to back the Democrats when you know as much as him. Like, if you don't know what he knows, you can be misinformed, whatever, that's fine, and you can be learning, cool. But if you know as much as he knows and you back the Democrats, if you back the Democrats and say, hey, I'm a center-right liberal, I believe in capitalism, I believe in what the Democrats are doing is correct, I prefer Donald Trump than a Bernie Sanders type of person, I'm more right-leaning than left-leaning, cool, say that, and you're a Democrat. But if you're like, oh, I'm a left-wing progressive and I believe in radical stuff, but I'm going to try to bring people to the Democrats, then you're a liar, then you're shady. What he's doing is that, he's shady.
Is one of the main reasons why you guys are now surging in popularity, and like AOC is now a favorite to be the Democratic nominee in 2028, is you are the most anti-Trump and you are fighting on
Oh my God. It's not because they're the most anti-Trump, it's because they act like they're the most left-wing. Perfect example. Let AOC get the nomination, right? And let her just run on that anti-Trump, I'm not him, Orange Man bad, or whatever, JD Vance bad, but not run on left-wing policies, not run on universal health care, not run on a higher minimum wage, just saying, oh, we have to save America from them. Don't worry about what we're going to do. We're just not going to do what they're going to do, and we're just going to save America and not pass any policies, and then they get in and not pass any policies. What does that do for us? Nothing.
everything.
Oh, everything, okay.
Simple, right? Now,
No.
I also agree with Bernie that on policy now, there's a bit of a breakthrough too with the Democratic base.
Oh shit.
Because the argument effectively is, we are for the polar opposite of everything you're witnessing right now. Oh, what's that? Trump's warmongering with 8 different countries? How about we warmonger?
Holy shit. Like I just said a couple times, I have not watched this video. Obama took the wars from, I think it was 2 to 7. Google it, look it up. How are you going to talk about Trump warmongering? And then who committed genocide for over a year? The Democratic Party, or at least funded genocide for over a year. I mean, the Republicans didn't stop it; they're still going to fund it too. But again, there's no difference between the two if you step outside of your own self.
With none. How about we cut off all the money and the weapons to Israel so they can stop doing their genocide?
This dumbass fool here. The party you're pushing is the party I just said was giving the money to Israel for over a year. This dumb motherfucker, like, are you serious? Like, you can't be like, you can't be this knowledgeable and be this much of a Democrat sycophant and talk about you're progressive in any way. This dude is such a liar.
How about we fucking take our hands off Greenland and hands off Panama and hands off Mexico and hands off Iran and hands off Canada and hands off Venezuela and hands off Somalia and hands off Yemen?
Oh, wow. Obama had his hands on a lot of those. Maybe not Greenland and the Panama Canal and 1 or 2 others, but Somalia, Yemen, you dipshit, are you serious?
Oh, what the left is getting is, we're going to be the most anti-Trump and we're going to fight on everything because they're just...
No. The left is anti-Trump to an extent, but it's not anti-Trump, it's anti some of his policies. We don't give a shit about Trump. Trump, again, is no different. Stop calling the Democratic Party left, you jerk. You are making the discourse wrong in America, and you're making it hard for the left to actually build something because people hate the Democratic Party because they're so fucking shitty. They're not the left. They are not us. They do not represent me. They do not represent anything about the people. Stop calling them the left.
Destroying everything in this country.
Yes,
they haven't done a single positive policy thing since they got in there.
Right. The Democrats haven't done shit either. The Democrats, Republicans, back and forth, not doing shit.
And the other thing is, on policy, if you, Democratic voter, want the exact opposite of what you're witnessing now, that's up.
Jesus Christ. No. Jesus Christ.
Policy, if you, Democratic voter, want the exact opposite of what you're witnessing now, that's us. Come to us.
Come to us. I can't, like, that he says us for the Democratic Party and who he is just such a disappointment. The man that the boy, the guy, or whatever he is that I used to start watching back in the day would never have said that. And if I would have told Kyle Kalinske 5 or 7 years ago, maybe not 5, maybe 7, 10 years ago, that you're going to be talking about the Democratic Party and saying us, and they haven't moved to the left at all, that they've actually only moved to the right, he would say, fuck you, no shit, not at all. And he is just all blue mouth, blue lip, blue nose, blue, oh my gosh, it's crazy. I've never, it's like the people with Trump derangement syndrome on the right who just love Trump so much. He's got that Trump derangement syndrome so bad that he just loves the Democratic Party now. It makes absolutely no sense. I mean, I guess, I don't know. To me, it makes no sense.
We got you. Come to Papa. Right? Because they are really representing a revolutionary conservatism, a deep fascism, a robber baron coup, and on this side, we're anti-war and pro-social democracy.
Oh, shit. Fuck you. He's lying. Now, if he was pushing the Green Party like his tie right here, if he was pushing the party of his tie, okay. He's straight lying. Like, why? Joe Biden sitting there just funding genocide, talking about we're the party of no war, and he's pushing the Democratic Party. And he just, but again, like, no matter what you guys say, and you guys, some of you be mad at me, oh, the Democratic Party, you got to be in the Democratic Party, now's not the time, now's not the time. Is this guy not lying? Is he not straight up lying right now, talking about we're the party of not war, when he's representing the Democratic Party, and again, Obama from 2 to 7 wars, and then Biden funding genocide? How is that a party of not war, an anti-war party? That makes absolutely no sense. His words are lies.
And so that's why there's this moment that Bernie's having, AOC's having, Maxwell Frost, Jasmine Crockett, Tim Walz, J.B. Pritzker. There's a reason why the leaders are who they are, and there's a reason why they're surging. And again, The recipe.
Because they're fake leftists, because they act like they're populists, because they act like they're for the people. But when all is said and done, they're in the Democratic Party. They're going to push the corporate policies. They're going to push war. They're going to put rainbows on bombs, right? You know, put "I love you, but I got to kill you" on the bomb, right? Because, you know, you're the wrong place, wrong time, right? You know, they don't care. It's the same.
He is. We are the most anti-Trump, and we're going to fight him on everything.
So stupid. Oh, I'm so anti-Trump. Oh.
On policy, we stand for the polar opposite of everything they're doing.
No, you don't. You do most of the same stuff. We've had Barack Obama for 8 years. We had Joe Biden for 4 years. We had Bill Clinton for 8 years. Nothing good happened. We didn't get like this. Like the last person to raise minimum wage, who was it? George Bush. Not a Democrat. I don't know what to tell you.
And that's why the centrists, so-called centrists,
The Kyle Kalinskis, the ones who defend Kyle Kalinske, that's why the secular talkers
are becoming irrelevant.
I hope you do become irrelevant.
Because they are meeting fascism halfway.
You are promoting fascism all the way.
And they're also just genuinely lost right now, right? They're just...
Oh my gosh, to hear this dude talk like that, genuinely lost right now. When you're pushing the Democratic Party. I wish I could take a 10 years in the past Kyle Kalinske and bring him now to debate this Kyle Kalinske. Holy shit, that would be amazing.
Lost. They're
You are
rudderless.
lost.
They don't know.
But when you're a centrist like this and you back the Democratic Party and you know this much, like you're Dunning-Kruger effect, dude, man, like it is a lot. Like he's so politically aware, but so just Trump derangedly stupid right now. It's amazing.
Oh, what to do? They don't know.
And
Because
he's
they
just
were
talking about
convinced, like,
himself. It's
this
amazing.
can't happen again. And now here it is, and it's like, now you're going to compromise with it? No, you were saying this guy's the devil, and you were right about that. Well, now we go the other direction, and we'll lead you out of the wilderness. That's what Bernie's offering. That's what AOC's offering.
Oh,
that's what
shit.
the fighters are offering. And I love that he's getting sassy with all of the very few naysayers in the country. That's the other thing. Don't get it twisted into thinking this is like a real faction that's going to war with Bernie. Number one, he's the most popular senator, I believe, in the whole country.
Because he's popular with left-wingers, independents, and people not in the Democrat and Republican Party. Yet most of those people do not want to go to the Democratic Party and won't. And those that do will just be disappointed. But you don't care.
He's the most popular senator in the whole
He's used to that, aren't you?
fucking country. Number two, all of the polls are showing that the people who are fighting are leading, and in the polls, and the ones who aren't are Gonzville, right? Like, you're not going to see a poll with Alyssa Slotkin in the top 7, right? So...
Yeah, she's still going to be winning positions, and those that are left-wing leaning that the people like won't be in the top 7. Or they might be in the top 7 of popularity, but they won't be winning positions or getting those high positions like AOC didn't get.
It's their moment. It's their moment. And
this could be your moment, Kyle. This should be the moment of left-wing YouTube, of progressive YouTube, of filling the Green Party. But it should have been TYT about 15 years ago doing it. I'm small. Help build my channel. Let's get this people stuff going. Because these guys ain't doing it. And I guarantee you give me 1 million, you give me 1 billion followers. If I was as big as Mr. Beast, I would still be this far left, and all my money, it would not even be like Mr. Beast. All my money would just go to schools and stuff. I would show it off a little bit, but like I wouldn't be making people compete to eat bugs and stupid crap like that. These guys.
we will... There's the only way out. The only way out is to fucking stand united and say fuck off on every single issue.
And how are we going to stand united in a corporate party that tells us to fuck off? We tried that. We tried that with Bernie Sanders.
An inch towards you, you dumb bitch. And
We tried that with Barack Obama and Bernie Sanders. Stand united, hope and change. Bernie Sanders 2016. Doesn't work. Not in the Democratic Party anyway. Have we done that in the Green Party? You know how strong the Green Party would be right now? You know how different things would be right now?
and then fight for the polar opposite philosophy on every single front. There is no negotiating, compromising your way out of this. There is no bipartisanship that's going to save you. There is no meet them halfway, do half fascism. It's not, we can't do that. If that's the case, we're already cooked, we're already done as a nation, and we might as well wrap it up. Hey, y'all, do me...
Alright, so I'm going to put a video right here and the link at the end. Jones Plantation, the duopoly is older than you think, whatever, oligarchy. to just disprove everything he just said. Like, he knows he's wrong. He's strengthening the oligarchy. He's building the oligarchy. Him and his lady right here, they building the Democratic Party, just funneling people to the Democratic Party. You're just keeping the oligarchy strong. But, you know, you guys are millionaires now. You guys are rich, and you guys like the duopoly. You like the oligarchy. You like capitalism. So you're not really for the people no more. And we need to go to a party that can't be changed. We are for the people, by the people. We can't be changed. If anybody in our party wanted to change, we would just kick them out. Like, oh, you need to go to the Democratic Party if you're starting to vote like this, if you're starting to vote for corporations only. But, you know, again, we know this stuff when we look at things from across the spectrum.